If you want a practical, good-looking, well-equipped family car and need a little bit of off-road capability but don't want to go the whole hog with an SUV, then Vauxhall might just have what you're looking for. The Insignia Country Tourer is based on the sports tourer estate car but rides 20mm higher for improved ground clearance. It's also adorned with tough rubbing strips to protect the bodywork should you need to drive it down a country trail. As with the normal Insignia Sports Tourer, these back doors, they open nice and wide and that makes it easy when you're trying to fit a child seat. However, this country model is actually raised up slightly and so it's less of a strain to get in the back because you don't have to drop down quite so low. And I think your elderly relatives will really appreciate that. And anyone will appreciate the amount of room you've got back here actually. The hatchback version has a sloping roofline and so they ease it into headspace, whereas this one, as you can see, I've got loads of headroom. Knee room's very good as well. There's big footwells. Now, if you look down here, you'll notice there's this hump. That's because this car is available with all-wheel drive. It needs space to send the prop shaft through to the back of the car to drive the rear wheels. On some of the German rivals, this is really intrusive, whereas on this Insignia, it's not too bad, and if you have to sit in the middle seat, because the footwells are large, like I said a moment ago, there is place for you to put your feet, and even then in the middle I've got decent headroom. So in the back, this is a very practical car. Inside, the Country Tourer is identical to the recently revised Insignia, so it has a well-made cabin, a new centre console with more simplistic button arrangement which makes the car's function easier to use, and there's also a colour touchscreen while the instrument dials are now digital as well. In-car storage is reasonable for this type of vehicle. For instance, the side door bins, they can hold a litre bottle of water, so it passes the Carbuyer big bottle test, which is good. We've got a secret cubby down here. I was wondering where they had gone. I better put them out of sight, otherwise I'll trough them all. You've got cup holders here, which, as you can see, this is the reason why I'm a bit overly energetic in my reviews, too much energy drink. The glove box, it's a reasonable size as well, and equipment on the Country Tourer is impressive as well, and it helps account for that higher price tag. For instance, you get stuff like climate control, cruise control, you've got DAB digital radio, you've also got xenon headlamps, 18-inch alloys as standard, plus an electrically operated tailgate, and you can open it to 3/4 of the height if you're in a tight car park, as I'll demonstrate now. The Insignia Country Tourer is a relaxing car to drive, and even though you're sitting up slightly higher than in the normal car, you don't get the sensation that it's rolling around anymore in the corners. And of course, that raised ride height means that it's better for driving over rough tracks or over grassy fields. You can get the Insignia Country Tourer with two 2-litre diesel engines. There's the 192 brake horsepower bi-turbo diesel in this car, which can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in under 10 seconds and comes with an automatic gearbox as standard. However, most people will be better off saving some money and going for the 161 brake horsepower single turbo diesel, as it's quick enough and returns over 60 miles per gallon. The Insignia Country Tourer comes with Vauxhall's FlexRide adaptive dampers as standard, and they do a good job of neutralising the bumps in the road. Put it into tour mode, then it just softens things off and you just glide about. You don't really feel any of the bumps or lumps as you're cruising about. The Insignia Country Tourer really is a very relaxing car to travel in, and it's especially good on long motorway journeys as the seats are super comfy and there's little wind noise at speed. If you want, you can press this button to put it into sports mode, which is largely pointless because it does make the ride firm and the car starts to fidget a bit then. And really, this car is in no way sporty. Part of the reason for that is the steering, because it really does feel very vague. Another thing I wouldn't really bother with, unless you really do need that slight off-road capability, is the all-wheel drive system, because it does harm economy. When you combine that all-wheel drive system with the automatic gearbox of this car, you only get 42 miles per gallon, which isn't very good these days, not with a diesel engine. A diesel 320d BMW X-Drive is way more economical, and it's faster. There are some other things on this car which are a little bit unimpressive, such as the satellite navigation system, which isn't all that good, and it'll cost you 1,200 quid on lesser models, and I just use the one that I get for free on my iPhone. I'm not really impressed with this user interface here, this touchpad system they've got, because it's almost like Vauxhall have tried to emulate what the German manufacturers do, but they've taken the very worst of BMWs, Audis and Mercedes systems and combined it into theirs, because it's really frustrating to use. Then there's the optional Nappa leather. Now it's supposed to be super soft and make your Vauxhall Country Tourer just feel that little bit posher, but it'll set you back £3,000. And instead of buying this particular range topping model with a Nappa leather for £3,000, you could use that £3,000 to upgrade your Vauxhall Country Tourer to an Audi A4 Allroad, and that's a surefire way of making the car feel a lot posher. Then there's the boot. It's a usable shape and you get a fairly flat low bay when you fold the seats down. But a Volkswagen Passat Alltrack and a Skoda Superb Outdoor have more load space. One of the things I find annoying is how the boot finishes there, then you've got this massive ledge for the bumper. As you can see already, there's some scratches here and there's another one over there and people loading stuff in. And the reason that's so long there is because you've got this ridiculously deep tailgate. I mean, just look how fat that is. In fact, it's a bit of a shame that Vauxhall didn't actually use this as an extra cubby, because the actual space in there, some people's flats in London are smaller than that and they pay handsomely for it. On the flip side though, I do like the parcel shelf. Sometimes on these cars, the parcel shelves are a nightmare to use. This one, so easy to operate and to remove and install because it's got this handy lever on the top, so it's dead easy to operate. Those in rival cars can really make you frustrated. That's a good system. And that's the thing with the Country Tourer, you see. It's by no means perfect, but there's still plenty to like about it, and it does add extra versatility to the Insignia range. But if you want a car such as this, but with a bit more interior space, then you should check out our review of the Volkswagen Passat Alltrack by clicking up here. If you're a badge snob and would rather have an Audi, then check out our review of the A4 Allroad by clicking down here. If you click down here, you can see our very latest video review. If you click up there on our logo, you can subscribe to our channel.